I want to take you to breaking news now because as people in Texas are still reeling from the horrible flooding, a separate incident is unfolding just along the border. The U.S. Customs and Border Patrol announced earlier today.
We take you straight to a breaking news as a major incident unfolds along the California-Mexico border. The U.S. government has abruptly shut down a significant stretch of the boundary after the discovery of an enormous and deeply troubling underground structure. The move is rare. It has captured attention across the country. Curiosity, fear, and speculation are running high. Officials say this was not a routine operation. The decision to close the border came after the urgency and scale of what was found became clear.
When you get down in a tunnel like this one and you shine your light and it just keeps going, I mean, what are you thinking?
There's nothing that really surprises us too much anymore.
This was not the usual contraband tunnel used for drug or human smuggling. Authorities have dealt with those before. What they uncovered here was something else entirely. Larger, more elaborate, and potentially far more dangerous. The site is in a quiet section of Southern California's borderland, an area not known for major breaches or high-profile criminal cases. Routine surveillance picked up strange ground vibrations and minor shifts in structures beneath a government-monitored zone. At first, they were thought to be minor geological movements or the result of environmental conditions. But when specialized Border Patrol units brought in seismic detection equipment, they found something they were not expecting. Beneath the desert floor lay a massive subterranean facility. This was not a simple tunnel. It stretched for miles underground, reinforced with concrete and steel. There were ventilation systems, fixed lighting, and multiple branching chambers forming a labyrinth. The scale and engineering pointed to deep resources, advanced planning, and significant technical expertise. This was not the work of a small group. Inside, investigators found signs of recent activity. Machinery left behind, abandoned tools, life support systems capable of sustaining people underground for long periods. Some rooms had strange carvings on the walls. Others contained unknown equipment that did not match any standard law enforcement database. Authorities moved fast. The area was sealed off. Personnel were evacuated. Military engineers and forensic specialists were called in. The border closure stretched for several miles. Armed federal agents enforced a no-access zone on both sides. Drones and aircraft circled overhead. Unmarked government vehicles moved in and out. While officials refused to release exact details, sources confirmed this was being treated as a potential national security crisis. One of the most disturbing finds was a series of sealed rooms. These were fitted with shielding to block electronic signals. Inside were racks of servers and advanced computing systems running on unknown power sources. The configuration suggested these were used for high-level surveillance, data collection, or experimental operations. The possibility that this was a covert intelligence site is now under serious consideration. Who was running it remains unclear. A foreign power, a rogue domestic faction, or an organized criminal network are all on the table. Even deeper underground, teams found biological containment units. They looked like cryogenic pods or stasis tubes. Many were shattered or empty. No human remains were present, but forensic testing confirmed biological traces consistent with recent human presence. On the walls were markings comprising mathematical formulas, genetic sequences, and diagrams that do not match any known public research. The Department of Energy, the CDC, and DARPA were brought in to assess possible biological or technological hazards. Their presence alone signaled the seriousness of the situation. Some rooms were equipped with automatic incineration systems. Whoever operated the site had plans to destroy evidence quickly. Several passageways had already collapsed, either as a result of deliberate demolition or poorly timed self-destruct systems. But even with the damage, fragments of data, half-melted instruments, and destroyed communications equipment hinted at a highly secretive mission that was suddenly interrupted. One tunnel ended at a vertical shaft almost 200 feet deep into bedrock. At the bottom was a sealed industrial hatch with biometric locks. Attempts to bypass the system failed. The technology was more advanced than anything normally used in smuggling operations. It hinted at a scientific or strategic function. Nearby, an abandoned elevator shaft suggested the installation once extended even deeper, possibly connecting to other hidden sites along the border or further inland. Officials stayed silent about what else was inside, but the scale of the response, including the deployment of nuclear, biological, and cyber warfare units fueled the belief that this was much bigger than an isolated breach. Experts now believe the site had been active for years, maybe decades, operating undetected beneath one of the most heavily monitored borders in the world. The implications are staggering. If such a structure can exist in California, what about other parts of the country? Could similar underground networks be operating under rural areas or remote terrain? The shutdown had immediate consequences. Thousands of travelers were turned back. Commercial traffic came to a halt. Border towns were thrown into chaos. The sudden appearance of blackout zones, restricted communications, and round-the-clock military activity left residents anxious. Officially, it was described as a security incident. Unofficially, no one believed it was just routine. This discovery forces a rethink of border security. Threats are not limited to surface incursions anymore. They can come from deep underground. Surveillance systems designed for two-dimensional monitoring are no longer enough. Experts say advanced ground-penetrating radar, seismic mapping, and AI-driven detection may need to become standard. There is also a psychological dimension. For decades, conspiracy theories have claimed the existence of underground bases and secret projects. Most were dismissed, but this find gives weight to those long-rejected ideas. Public trust in government transparency is already fragile. The lack of official detail will only deepen suspicion. The engineering of the site raises big questions. Who designed it? How did they acquire the materials without detection? The tunnel systems were built to a standard rivaling government facilities. The digital infrastructure used custom-built platforms not reliant on commercial software. That level of independence points either to powerful backing or a complete breakdown in supply chain oversight. The biological side of the discovery is even more alarming. Were the pods used for preserving life, incubating organisms, altering genetics? Investigators found faint radiation traces and unknown biochemical residues. Samples were rushed to high-security labs. The results remain classified. Whoever built this clearly did not expect to be discovered. Surveillance records from nearby checkpoints are now under review, looking for unusual activity or shipments. But the challenge is massive. This facility operated right under the noses of both US and Mexican authorities without raising alarms. If people were held here, where are they now? Did they leave before the raid? Were they moved through secondary routes that are still hidden? Were they participants or victims? These are questions investigators cannot yet answer. The site is still being examined. Every corridor opened reveals new layers of complexity. In one sector, fibrous growths covered the walls, pulsing faintly under certain light. Their origin is unknown. In another, exploration teams reported strange acoustic effects, distorted echoes, and low-frequency hums causing nausea and disorientation. Some chambers contained sealed crates of unfamiliar equipment, such as smooth metal cylinders, cases locked with quantum time mechanisms, and tubes holding what looked like synthetic muscle fibers. All are now under federal quarantine. The deepest chamber held a 3D holographic mapping system. It showed interconnected tunnels stretching toward the Pacific and deep into the continental US. Marked points indicated possible other facilities in remote, uninhabited regions. This suggests the California site may have been part of a larger underground network. There are no fingerprints, no digital trails, no funding links. Contractors who might have supplied materials have vanished. Even the concrete mix has molecular markers not found in US databases. Some personnel involved in the early cleanup have suffered unexplained psychological effects such as insomnia, hallucinations, and memory loss. Interviews with long-term Border Patrol officers revealed a pattern. For years, there were unexplained GPS glitches, sudden power drains, and communications blackouts in the area. They were written off as technical issues. Now they seem like part of the same puzzle. The timing of the shutdown suggests the site was either compromised unexpectedly or abandoned according to a plan. Evidence points to an emergency evacuation protocol, one designed for the quick destruction of evidence and sealed exits. Among the strangest items recovered were handwritten journals in English, Spanish, and an undeciphered code. They referenced cycles, passages, and repeatedly warned, "The vault must never open." Analysts say the language hints at a belief system tied to the facility's mission. Internationally, the finding has caused quiet tension. Allies have requested information. Some claim to have detected similar activity elsewhere in North America. There are even unconfirmed reports of underground discoveries in South America and Eastern Europe. Back in California, drilling has revealed more sealed areas. Probes suggest metal-rich zones and possible cryogenic storage. Every new step is taken slowly, with the expectation of traps or structural hazards. The perimeter is now one of the most secure in the country. No drones, no civilian overflights. Even some government staff with clearance are being denied entry. Legislation is being rushed to regulate underground facilities at the federal level. What was uncovered here is not just a tunnel. It is a message that the threats we face are not always above ground. As investigators go deeper, the line between science, intelligence, and belief becomes harder to see. This was not simply abandoned. It was left as if a mission was complete. The rooms were orderly. The exits were carefully closed. So as investigators piece together the puzzle, the question becomes unavoidable. Was this an isolated hidden base, or just one node in a far larger network still buried beneath our feet? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to our channel for more such videos. If you like this video, you'll like this video as well.